Hey, y'all, it's me, your host, Coach Pilar Arthur Sneed. Thanks so much for joining me here for another episode of The Last 10th. You know, I know, I'm gonna say it, but it is the truth. I am so excited. I get so excited every single week. Literally, I get so excited that I have to take a brief Zen moment before I start each and every time to collect myself. Because I get to talk to the most amazing people from all around the world. People and runner people, which is probably the best kind of people you could ever hope to meet, I think. So today is no different. I am here with Mimi Phillips, Louisville native, runner, mom, amazing, amazing woman. I am just so excited to welcome her to the show. So, Mimi, welcome. Welcome
Thank
to the show. Excellent. I'm so glad to have you. So, Mimi, where I usually like to start is that I really love it when folks tell me a little bit about themselves. So you can share anything that you like.
Let's see. As you said, I'm a mom. I'm also an empty nester,
Mm.
deciding what my next path will be. I am a chef.
Oh,
Uh, I am a small business owner, as well as I'm a foodie.
ooh.
So besides running, I'm the type of person who will spend my last dollar on something and just take a picture of it, and I don't want to eat it. I just want to cook it, you know, here, here's something free. Um,
Yes.
uh, I have a lot of tattoos, and
Same.
um, I'm a free spirit. Uh, if I dig you and we vibe, then I'll go for you. But once our energy is off, I'm one of
Mm,
those people. I walk away because
mm.
my peace is worth way more than us arguing back and forth.
I can
So that's
completely
me.
I can completely understand that. I have had conversations with folks a lot about energy. I really believe in that you can feel people's energy. And even though we've been in this mode in pandemic times where things have really shifted to online, I believe that you can feel people's energy even through the online space. You can feel how positive and uplifting they are. You can feel
Yeah.
when people are throwing off negative vibes too.
Yeah.
Side note, I had an interaction with someone last year in 2020, uh, where I tried to close out the relationship in a way that was like, "Hey, listen, this is not really working for me. I need to try to do something else." And I just want to let you know, they never responded to my like, "Listen, I'm moving on." They never responded. They just ghosted me. And then
Mm,
fast forward to 2021, another program was starting and I thought, "Oh, this person would probably be a good fit for this person." And so we're in this online space and I can feel they are frosty.
mm,
I could feel the frost through the camera and I'm like, "But look, I tried to have
right.
an interaction with you that was like on the level so you could understand where I'm coming from, what I was needing, and that we weren't, it wasn't a personal thing. It was just like we just didn't have the same goals."
Yeah.
Mm,
I, I I would say that is true for me in another sense.
mm,
I lived in Maryland for 10 years.
mm,
Um, and I just recently, well, I've been home for 2 years now,
mm,
but I feel like in many ways I'm a stranger in my own hometown. It's like
mm,
people grew up with me, but
mm,
now because my mindset and my goals have changed,
mm,
it's like I know you, but I don't really want to know you.
mm,
They troll me on Facebook and Instagram, but
mm,
in life, they wouldn't speak to me if
mm,
it paid them anything.
mm, mm,
So I'm trying not to just like block everybody and delete
mm,
everybody,
mm,
but I I have learned not to take it personal,
Mm,
because at first I was like, well, why don't they like me? When I was in Maryland, everybody was, come home to Kentucky. We'll do this with you and this with you. And then they're like, well, it's a pandemic. But didn't I just notice you went out of town? So it was a pandemic town. So I just let them be, because
yes,
it took up way too much of my energy to try to figure it out.
understood, understood. So, Mimi, tell me a little bit about how you got started in running. How did that get started for you?
It's a twofold thing.
Mm,
Um, First, I was at a job, and they always signed us up for the turkey trot.
mm,
And I did my first turkey trot, and I was just struggling through the whole thing.
mm.
I thought that 3 miles was like 30 miles. And I was like, but I always kept it in the back of my mind that I need to take better care of myself.
Mm,
I'm a mom to two very active young men, and I always kind of felt embarrassed that I'm plus size and I've got these two little skinny sons. And I know it's not about being skinny, but it was about being healthy. So
mm,
as my younger son joined the army, I became an empty nester, and I
mm,
was also in Maryland by myself.
mm,
So, as a way to fight depression, I
mm.
just bought a pair of running shoes. So, I started out with the walking, and then walking became jogging. Then it became, oh, let's see how far I can actually jog. But
Yes.
I had to first deal with my mind, because being plus size, I thought everybody was pointing at me, going, "Look at that fat girl running." And then I had to go, but at least I'm doing it.
That's right.
So I went back to the turkey trot, actually finished my first one in Maryland. And I saw that I enjoyed it. It
Mm,
was the joy of seeing how far I could go each day, each moment, to just say that for that 30 minutes or however long I'm out there, I can tune out the world. I can tune
mhm,
out all the stress
mhm.
and just go. Um, it's still sometimes like, why did I decide to do this? To be fat. But for me, the biggest was it's been 4 years now.
Mm.
I had a heart attack. I literally went to work and sat down, and I told my coworker beside me, call 911, something's not right.
Wow.
And I literally sat in my chair and had a heart attack.
Wow.
Um, I got to the hospital, and in my mind, I'm just like, I'm okay.
Mhm.
And when they come back and they tell you they're keeping you, you're like, no, I'm going home. Just give me some happy drugs,
Yes.
and home. Um, and I cried, and
Mm,
I said, my mom's not here, my kids is not here, and I made a promise that if I made it to the other side, I was going to be okay.
mm.
So they tell you all the things that they're going to do. And now inside of this tattoo, there's a little bitty white dot.
Yeah.
And that little bitty white dot is where they did the scope to my heart. And
Wow.
that little bitty white dot is my reminder to get up and get moving,
Wow.
because I don't want to be connected to a medicine or a machine. So I
Mm.
can give myself that time to get up and do something. If it isn't but
Yes.
just walking up and down the block,
Yes.
that, that's what I have to do.
Wow.
My son came to me and were like, Mom, you're all we got. Get
Wow.
it. And I was like, okay, I got it.
It was a wake-up call, literally a wake-up call.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. You brought up some interesting, points and things that I actually think about a lot in the running space, and especially as a coach. Um, you mentioned that you had to get your mind right, right? And a lot
Mhm.
of people, when they think about running, they think, "Oh, well, you're moving your body." But my thing is, and I say that I am the mindful runner. I I really believe that running is more of a mental challenge than it is a physical challenge, because
Yeah.
every time you you have to make a decision every single time that you will go out the door. And it's that part that's the hardest part. So
Yeah.
talk to me a little bit more about that.
You forget your headphones. I have to run with something in my ear.
Mm,
Um, I have often left my music or my podcast, and I'm like, dang it, do I really want to run? Nobody's not gonna run it. No, if I don't run, but I don't know if I didn't run. Um, I've left water. I've left my hydration pack, but it's still the moment of once I get there, I'm like, okay, Michelle, gut check. What we gonna do?
that's right.
Um, and I may shorten the run,
Yes.
but I don't not do the run
Yes.
because look at now. I am so thankful the people who smile at me, thumbs up, because they're just like, oh my gosh, she's actually doing it.
Yes.
Um, and where I live out now is an urban area,
Mm.
and it is a joy to see people go, "Are you okay? You And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. Want to come with me? And they're like, outside? I'll see me? Um, and the probably besides the running in urban areas is being plus size.
Mm.
I have no problem running in my sports bra. When it's hot,
Mm.
shirt comes off and it's like, oh,
Mm.
let's get to moving
Yes.
because that little bit, I don't know, but that little bit of taking that shirt off, you just feel like, okay, I can do it.
Just
Just a
a
little
little bit
further.
further, a little bit further.
But the biggest thing to make me run is for the people who can't run
Mm.
or the tell themselves tomorrow. Being plus size, and I'm still plus size, even though I
Mm.
run up, is not worrying about is my arms flapping, I still got belly rolls,
Mhm.
or I'm not fast.
Mm.
So many people assume when you say running that you're like running like an Olympic sprinter.
Yes.
No, doing all of that. At least you hope you're not, because still wouldn't make it. But it's the joy of um, people young and old who
Yes.
just give thumbs up, and then I fight for another day, and
Absolutely, absolutely. So talk to me about a little bit about, a little bit more about your experiences being a plus size runner, representing not only being a plus size runner, but also being a woman of color, being a black woman in this running space. And
things. I'm a plus size runner,
mm,
black runner, and I'm an LGBT runner. So
yes,
I proudly say all three of those.
yes.
Um because being a plus size runner, I
Mm,
want other plus size people to understand and to feel that it's okay to be in this space and to be moving. Don't let anybody tell you you need to be skinny first, then try.
yes.
You have to do it from whatever point that you are. I am very happy to say I lost 100 pounds by getting out of my own way and
Mm,
saying, regardless if you like me or love me, I got to do this for me because my
absolutely.
worth it. Um, Being a black woman, I want other people to understand that what you eat and what you do has such an impact on your life. And
Yes.
moving, I'm so saddened that so many people still only think fried, still only think of I I I'm going to say it. We're not slaves anymore.
That's
Stop
right.
eating stuff that will kill you. And
Yes.
yes, there is so many things that'll kill you, but when you eating everything from the rooter to the tutor still, call a spade, and um,
I mean, I think it's a you're absolutely right. We are not slaves anymore. On the one that's on the one side. On the other side, there is a way for us to eat the foods of our culture and of our heritage that doesn't have to be unhealthy. Quote,
Yes.
and I say I put unhealthy, quote unquote, right? Like, so we don't have, you don't have to um, use lard to cook a ham hock. You know what I'm saying? Or you know what I'm saying? So there are ways to prepare it in a way that can be maybe more healthy, because
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to, with there's so much of culture trying to say that who we are because we are descendant of slaves is
Hmm.
bad or not good or not acceptable. I wouldn't want to say that we shouldn't eat those foods, I guess, if that makes any sense. Does that make sense?
I'm not saying don't eat them all the time. I'm
Mm,
just saying in moderation and
yes.
be to doing it a different way.
Mm,
As being a chef and foodie,
mm,
I videos of things with a healthier spin or a
yes.
different spin,
Yes.
just so that help you, think of it a different way. Um, and I don't want you to think of it as a diet, because once you think of it as a diet,
Yes.
and you're going to stop and you're only going to be eating this little bitty baby portion.
Yes.
It's so sad looking at some people's meal preps, and it's 5 days of the same thing. And not
Yes.
give me a variety, because
Yes.
I can't. And then it's all brown. Oh,
Yes. Yeah,
no, no, no.
I a lot of people do the meal prep thing, and I have always been a picky eater, and that just is not something that would work for me, because I cannot, I simply cannot and will not. I guess will not is the key. Eat the same thing for 5 days in a row. I'm not doing it.
Yes, yes. Because by day two, I'm like,
I'll
that
eat
McDonald's
yes.
wasn't good.
I mean, I occasionally will eat leftovers, like, for maybe for lunch. That's great, but I'm not going to eat the same meal 5 days in a row. It just would not work for me. Cannot
Yes,
work for me.
yes.
Absolutely. Yeah, agreed.
The going back to the African American runner, I don't see in my large group. Uh, there's maybe less than 10 of us that
Mm,
are
mm,
American, and out of 2,500 people, less than
mm,
10.
mm, mm,
Um, but I don't think that we need to get away from, oh, my hair is going to get messed up, or
mm,
not going to look pretty when I'm working
mm,
out. When
mm.
you're not be looking pretty when you're working out.
That's exactly
And not everybody's going to look like the social media model
that's
of
right.
uh what their version of healthy is.
Yes.
You have to, like you said, come in and own your space and say, this is me, take me as I am, and I'm doing this for myself.
That's
um
exactly right.
as an LGBT runner,
Mm,
um, I want us to feel included also,
mm,
because there's so much stigmatism and trauma
mm,
that you deal with on a
mm,
daily.
mm,
Sometimes you just need to be able to say, "Hey, not today, not right now.
mm.
Let let's focus on this, and then
Yes.
have a discussion about that." But
Yes. I agree. I agree. I think particularly within the Black community, being a queer person is double stigmatizing, because within within the Black community, right, there's not a lot of open discussion about what it means to be an LGBTQ person, and that this is okay, that it is okay to be exactly the person that you are. And when I say it's okay, like, I feel like it's okay pales in comparison to what it actually is. Like, it's who you are. There's no way else to be other than to be the person that you were born as. So there's not a lot of discussion on this topic necessarily within the Black community as a whole, and then putting to the side the running community as well. Yeah.
Well, I don't want to go too far, but I am a later in life
Mm,
lesbian, as they
mm,
um and I'm the only one in my family on both sides that
Wow.
is openly gay.
Mm,
Um, I had been away for 10 years, and I
mm,
felt like family didn't have to say anything
mm,
because I was. And now that I'm back, I not only have outside, I have inside
mm,
uh, telling me negativity, and I'm
mm.
just like, not today. Block, delete, shut the door.
That's it. I do
I,
not accept it.
I'm because I have to say I have too many positive
Mm,
things that I have done and accomplished for
mm,
you to be worried about this. Even though it's not a little aspect,
mm.
um, I don't tell you what to do.
That's
So
right.
I'm 51 years old, and
That's right.
I often tell my sons, "You all can't tell me what to do."
That's right. That's right. That's right.
So
That's right.
I,
That's
I
right.
want to. If I can be happy for you, you can be happy for me. You
Mm,
may not necessarily agree with me in
mm,
my lifestyle, but
mm.
let's keep it moving.
That's right.
Because
That's right.
there are so many more bigger things in the world to be worried about.
That's right.
Rather,
That's right. Absolutely. I have a friend of mine whose dad, she's a trans woman, and her dad was saying, I don't understand it. And my response was, you don't have to.
right, right,
Your job is not to understand.
right.
I don't understand a lot of things that people do, but it doesn't really matter whether I understand or I don't understand. It just is. All you need to do is to be there for that person as they need you to show up. That's all you need to do.
Yeah,
Understanding is not required. Except
no,
your believing that it's okay or not okay, it's not required. All that's
true.
required is that you are respectful, kind,
Yes,
and
yes,
giving of your love as they need it. That's it.
yes,
And
yes.
for him, he was just like, well, damn,
Yeah, yeah,
that's keeping it real.
yeah.
I know it is.
They always come back with like a reply that's not bitter and like in your face, rah rah all the time. And it's like, I don't have time for that. Yeah, I know how to be rah rah, but most of the time I'm just like, I'm gonna kill you with a smile on my face and
That's
tell
it. That's it.
this is what I'm gonna do.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Absolutely. I love all of that. All of that. So in this past year of this, pandemic time, 2020 time into 2021 time, you got a degree.
Yep, my I keep saying it's my final one, but I'm actually probably ready to start school again.
You're addicted to it. I get it. I understand.
I, I from a very very young age, my mom used to take us to the library as a weekly thing, and we'd have to pick a book, write a book report on it, and I own almost 350 books,
Wow.
so um, I can't say that I'm addicted to the school. I'm more addicted to learning.
Yes.
I feel like you never, never, never should stop learning. I'm actually reading a really good book right now about Black farmers uh,
Mm.
because my family at one time owned 350 acres. And
Wow.
as a child, I went to that farm every every time I could. I was
Wow.
in the playing, and it had so much joy.
Wow.
And now it's sad to think that we only have 5 of those
Wow.
300 acres left.
Wow. Wow.
Well, I've told my sons, and I tell anybody who listens to me, I don't know. It may not be till my 99th birthday, but
Yes.
my goal and passion in life is I want a compound.
Mm.
Somewhere that you can do mind, body, and spirit. You're going to work the land. You're going to
Mm.
learn how to cook. You're going to learn how to exercise and take
Mm.
care of your mind. Because
Yes.
with 3 pieces, then you can, block, delete, remove, and it be okay. I
Yes.
find so many young people don't know how to cook. Um,
Yes.
how to order, but they don't know how to cook. So
Yes.
you got to get back to that. I was blessed in having that farm that I had my great grandmother until I was 20.
Wow.
So I know how to do everything from hunt, kill to put it on the plate.
Wow.
So I want someone else, not maybe to hunt, cook, and all of that stuff, but I
Mm.
want you to know where it comes from,
Yes.
how to grow it, how to prepare it, and prepare it maybe in a healthier way so
Mhm.
that pass it along, because I don't want us to always say tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow,
Mhm.
piggybacking on the heart attack. I literally changed my diet
Mhm.
um, or so, because I knew that the way that I was eating,
Mhm.
I wasn't gonna get the weight off
Mhm.
because everything was looking good to me.
That's right.
But in order to be successful and learn, and then the next biggest thing is learning portion control,
Ah,
because
yes.
portions in the US are out of just out of
Huge.
huge, and everything is supersized, upsize, up this, and then you're like
That's right.
in it.
That's right.
Or salad, and it's healthy until you pour all that dressing on it, and then it's like
Yes.
more.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Yes. So, um, you've said a lot of things that kind of you've talked about food a lot. So, how or what are some of the ways in which you overhauled your own, overhauled your own eating habits or your diet? Like, what were the things that you focused on?
I focused on for me, frying was not good for me.
Mm,
I lost my gallbladder, and not getting too technical, but your body needs the gallbladder
mm,
to process your food.
mm,
Um, Also had to give up beef because I was finding that it was just making me sluggish.
mm,
Um, I don't eat pork,
mm,
and I'm not. Um, I'm more mindful of the amount of vegetables I take
mm.
in, because I used to love vegetables all the time. Being from the country, give me a vegetable plate, and I was just like in seventh
You're
heaven.
happy. Yes.
I was like, oh, my vegetables about this big on the plate, and my meat's about this big on the plate. So
Sure.
I had to change that. I grill a lot
Mm,
when weather permitting. I bake and broil.
mm.
Um, and I'm learning to embrace other cuisines, not just
Yes.
eating what I grew up on.
Mm.
My latest fascination is pho. I can eat pho almost every other day. And a Vietnamese noodle soup, but that's
Yes.
like big bowl of comfort to me. Um,
Yes.
and just saying um, yes to at least let me try it, and then I'll decide if I don't like it.
Yes.
Um, and being a chef and foodie, um, I like I'll look at a cooking show and be like, "Oh, that sounds interesting.
Yes.
Let me decide if I'm going to try it, and then I'll cook it to
Yes.
see if oh yeah, I ain't like that part. Yeah, I should have left that on." But I'm thankful that other people are embracing when I post a video, or I'm sorry, a video or a picture. They'll ask me how did I cook that and the recipe for it, and I'm like, I'm not. I don't try to use any ingredients that are high end or something that I don't think everybody can get.
Mm,
Um, the other thing is a lot. I eat a lot of seafood,
mm.
and just for me, that makes me happy. I know everybody's not gonna embrace seafood, but
Sure.
you can do another lean meat if you
Mhm.
want to. And I tell everybody, even if you do eat beef or pork, it's not about how much you eat. I'm sorry, it is about how much you eat. It isn't
Absolutely.
what you eat, because if you like those things, just try to put more of the vegetable on the plate than the
Yes.
protein plate. And
Yes.
you'll see a difference. For me, if I eat too heavy, I'm sluggish. And it's
Yes.
like gut tells me,
Yes.
wait a minute. Let's peel back a layer.
That's exactly right. For me, I've been a vegetarian for well over 30 years.
Oh,
Um, and and that but then there were some periods of time where I had went back to eating salmon would be like the only fish that I would really eat. So eating salmon and then maybe
mhm.
like sushi on occasion. And now I'm kind of back to no uh meat products, and even going so far as is really to try to go to the more vegan side, because cheese, while I love cheese, cheese doesn't always love me. Especially
Yeah.
with running, especially with running, it's like certain things, they just run right through my system, and I have to like minimize those things in my diet. So uh I feel like when you do get more active, you're and you start to adjust your diet, your body starts to tell you the things that you really need more of, or that you don't need more of.
And even with you saying that, like, um now being putting myself out on social media, people will suggest this, try this product, try that
Mm,
product.
mm.
And I try it. Oh my God, when your stomach starts to hurt and you're at there, you're like, what did
Indeed.
I oh, stop this one, right? Um,
Not
but
everything, as they say, not everything is for everybody.
and for me, when I run long distances, I need real food. I can't
Mm,
do the extra stuff.
mm,
So
mm,
I
mm,
I have really started to take like little bitty red potatoes. I'll
mm.
roast
Done that.
and put them in there, put some
Mm,
peanut butter, and I don't
mhm.
really like peanut butter, but when I'm running, I love peanut
It's
butter.
good when you're running, understood.
Right, right. But so many other things I was finding, I was like, I was okay for that first mile, and
Yes.
then mile two comes in, and it's like, uh oh, where's the
Uh-oh.
tree? Where's the tree?
I'm like that with running, with running gels. Running gels do not agree with me
Oh my,
at all. And like I tried, I've tried goo, uh, I've tried Gatorade gels, all the gels and the packs and all those things, and I just found that I
or
can't.
there's a honey stinger or
Yeah,
something.
honey stinger,
Oh
all that stuff. I've tried it. I have tried it all. And as you know, for me now, the only thing that really works is sort of a combination of tailwind, and then when I go on a really, really, really long run, having like pickles, oranges, and that's basically it. That's what
yeah,
works.
you have to, and that goes back to my son telling me run your own race
Mhm.
because people just telling me what to do. I'm like, you don't know my body. You don't know what does and doesn't work for me.
Mhm.
Uh, and in the end, I'm the one with the stomach upset, and
Mhm.
because I got to go home. I don't. I got to go home.
I haven't finished my run yet, and my stomach says you got to go.
You become that speed walker, like, uh,
We've all been there. We've all been there where you're just like, "Oh no. Oh no. This is not good.
uh,
Oh no."
and when you get stuck in the porta potty and you can't get your running shorts back up, you this is an Olympic sport, Jesus.
There is nothing worse. There's nothing worse than being in the green porta potty with your soaking wet running shorts and trying to pull them up in the porta potty. It's just
Yeah, you're like, knock this porta potty over because I'm bumping on both sides trying to
it's
up.
it's the worst. It's the worst. And I don't know about you, but I'm in the porta potty and I just like it. I go in there and it is literally like insta hurl moment. I avoid the porta potty at all costs. I go in there and I try to hold my breath. I really do, but it doesn't work. And it's just like, whoosh, and I'm like, oh God, I'm
Yeah,
dying. It's the worst.
yeah,
I'm having the worst
yeah.
time in here.
And you're
So
busting. They're like, I'm here.
I'm out and it's hot. There's no air and there's never any toilet paper.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
And you can't carry toilet paper with you on your run because you're
Uh-uh.
sweating. So it's
Perfect.
wet.
get over the porta potty, not get wet, make sure your pants don't touch anything. It's like I am just a train wreck. Somewhere there's a camera looking at me going, "What is she doing?"
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This just cracks me up because this is like for real runner stuff, like things that you go
Mhm.
through out there in the world. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, Mimi, that was excellent. I love that. So I gotta collect myself now. Because over the weekend I was running and my stomach was just a little bit of a hot mess. But fortunately, where I was running, there's like a convenience store that has a bathroom that you could go in. So I was just like, oh my goodness, the whole time it was like actually like 5 or 6 miles where I was just like, oh my goodness, this is not good. This is really not good. And I was on my way back down and I was like, I'm gonna have to stop.
One last week, and I was like, I was good. And then they gave me I had just a sip of beer, a sip. Oh my God. I was like, well, oh, wait a minute. I can make it home. And then my mind said, oh, there's a Kroger. Let's go that way.
That's right. And it's list I started looking for like, do you think that tree is high enough? Is that shaded? Can I go behind that tree? Maybe I could do that.
No, no, no. Uh,
It was
oh,
that bad. It was that bad. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. Anyway.
What?
So so Mimi, do you have advice that if there has been advice that you've ever been given, or if there's advice that you'd like to give, right? What would it be? And it doesn't have to be running advice. It can be anything.
Um, even with me starting my running journey because of depression,
Mm,
um, in that depression, I read a book uh, by Myrna.
mm,
And once I read that book and I really looked at the cover, I was like, she's a big girl
mm,
and she's fat and
mm,
she's ultra marathons.
mm.
One day, um, I had to say that one day had to be today.
Yes.
Starts with you saying, okay, lace up. And it doesn't have to be pretty, doesn't have to be long. It's that one day becomes another day, becomes another day, becomes another day. Now, my biggest mantra is whatever is bothering you,
Mm,
stressing you, write it down on a piece of paper.
mm,
Paper in your shoe, go for the walk, run, jog, whatever you're going to do.
mm,
When you come back, throw that piece of paper away.
mm,
That is gone. You don't want to stress over it no more.
mm,
It may not be gone forever,
mm,
but you took care of it.
mm,
Um, that is what has kept me running,
mm.
because as I came home, I was kind of like in my head about, do I want to continue to be healthy? Because
Mm,
an adjustment. I'll
mm,
have to when you make a big life decision. But I wanted to finish graduate school so badly, and I was struggling towards the end. And my mom said, "Come home." So once I started to lace up again,
mm,
I felt the urge to do the parks. Our city has lots of beautiful parks that you can run in,
mm,
but in the urban area that I live in, the park is a pretty good distance. So
mm,
I had to then change my mindset to, are you going to be afraid to run? People are going to be looking at you and
mm.
Googling at stuff. But I say, at least they're enjoying it because purple hair,
That's right.
I have tattoos.
Yes.
Most I'm running in my sports bra,
Yes.
and they're all just things that it's like, oh my God, look.
Yes.
I'm like, yep, I'm that running unicorn who just goes, hey, I'm doing it. Want to do it
That's
with me?
that's it.
So I find joy in that. I find joy in just yesterday I ran, we have a park called Iroquois
Mm,
that is meal after another. And I call them the little beast and the big beast. So I was like, oh, which way do I want to go today? So as I was doing I did the down on the big beast. So then that mean I had to run up the little beast. And even though I say it's a little beast, it's like 5 sets of up and down. And you're
Yes.
just, I got it. I got it. Oh, wait a minute. Here comes another one. Oh, yeah. Slower. But then when I got to the end, I was like, whew, Jesus, yeah, I did that. I did that.
Yes.
Did it a minute less than I did it the last time. And I was
Yes.
like, "Ooh, what's flying around them hills? Let me
Yes.
probably won't happen again." But yeah,
Maybe not this week, but maybe next week or the week after,
yeah,
it might.
yeah. Hopefully, hopefully. And every time I get myself laced up to that park, I'm like, why did I pick this park? Why couldn't I pick the easy, the flat one? But
Yes.
then, oh, that being easy or staying in my comfort isn't what I was designed to do,
And I
because I
think that's an important point.
I would have never thought, even as running, that I could run a half marathon.
Mm.
When ran my first one, it was kind of by accident. I told the ladies, "Come on, let's go for a run," and I think we were supposed to do like 6 miles, and
Yes.
then I in the euphoria, and I was like, "Come on, let's keep going." And my friend was like, "Wait a minute, I didn't know we were running a half marathon." I was like, "I didn't either. Come on, let's go."
And then there you were.
Yeah. So last year I actually ran 4 of them, and I
Wow.
was just, "Woo, these little legs can go
Yes,
somewhere."
they can. Indeed. Indeed. Amazing. Amazing. So, is there anything that you want to share that I have not asked?
Um, Probably the biggest thing I want to share is to anybody who, thinks they can't do it,
Mm,
you can do it once you tap into this.
mm,
Tap into this is gonna follow. Don't
mm,
worry about legs, don't worry about what you look like,
mm.
just get 2 things together. Oh,
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Your
Um,
mind and heart.
and and you can go further than you ever thought you could have,
Mhm,
because, uh, when you do that with a open mind and a joyful heart, you don't care about how far it is,
mm.
you don't care about a medal, you don't care what you look like, you're just like, "I did that."
Yes.
So work on those 2 things and you can do it.
Yes.
You, because
Excellent.
as I run around in my sports bra and I still got a whole lot of jiggle, but fun.
Oh my goodness, Mimi, this conversation has been an amazing, amazing conversation. I love that we were able to laugh a lot. In the beginning of our conversation, we talked a little bit about energy, and I love the energy exchange that we have had today.
So thank you. Feeling well.
Excellent, excellent. I'm going to stop. So one of the things that we didn't talk about is that it particularly in the online space is that I think that women of color and particularly fat women of color are subject to a large portion of negative feedback. People want to target you and
Yeah.
say things to you because they think that they have the right to do
Mhm.
so.
Mhm. Very much so. And it's sad, that I feel like for me,
Mm,
you are not going to be able to come on my post and tell
mm,
me how to cook,
mm,
how to dress, how to do anything, because if you really read about me, I've
mm,
got 3 college degrees.
mm,
So I know how to cook and I know how to take care of myself.
mm,
But if you feel that your need to belittle me makes you feel better,
mm,
then you're the one who has the battle, not
mm,
me.
mm,
Because I have learned to finally love myself in the
mm,
space in.
mm,
Um, with me being a tattooed woman
Mm,
also, um, I get a lot of people who like, oh, you got tattoos,
mm,
and but if you ask me, you will know that my tattoos are actually telling my life story,
mm,
and that I choose to tell them.
mm,
Um, I don't think that men get as much stigma as women do.
mm, mm,
And being a Black woman, um, I do not like when you feel like that you can model me after something that you see that is knifed up, as I want to say.
mm, mm.
Everyone is into diet pills, waist trainers, this gimmick and that gimmick.
Yes.
But I'm like, when it all goes away, you're gonna be like Professor Clump, like when he like, poof, all so y- it's the quick fix versus have you done the work?
Yes.
The work. Do you are you only walking around eating, like the smallest bit of stuff because you're worried about you got to fit in this dress
Mm,
versus if you did the work, then it wouldn't matter if you ate the whole plate versus just one bite because you did the work behind it.
yes.
And stop letting social media tell you that you aren't doing enough. I often don't have but 30 minutes.
Mm,
But 30 minutes, I'm giving it my all. Um,
absolutely.
Not everybody has time, and you don't realize that some of these people who even are fitness influencers, they're working out all day, every day. I don't get time for and they're getting paid to do it. You're not.
That's exactly
So
right. That's
so you
exactly right.
you have to always listen to your mind and your spirit on what's enough, what's good enough. And as long as you're proud of you,
Mhm.
then can't nobody knock you for
Absolutely.
anything that
Absolutely.
because I
Absolutely.
have went from a size 26 to a size 14 based off of getting up off my own butt and saying, hey, Michelle,
That's it.
let's do this.
That's it. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. One of the things that you mentioned was in regards to like these waist trainer things and this particular thing. I'm a part of this group which is for Black women who work out, and in the first couple of weeks I noticed that there was a lot of focus on dieting. Was the number one that was the number one thing. Watching a
Mhm.
lot of women wear the waist trainer things. And I just and it was like, and I mean, I've been doing this running thing now. It's been about 6 years. And so this is the first time that I was in a group where I was like, oh, cool. Cool to be in a group full of Black women who are interested in working out. But it would just seem like the focus was so much on weight loss. And I can tell you that since I started running, I have literally not thought about losing weight at all. It has not been my focus at all.
No, it ain't my focus either. My focus is the silly thing or the not the silly thing, but for me, it's about the rhythm of my feet.
Mm,
And then it's about feeling the wind on my face.
mm, mm,
And then I'm tasting my own sweat. But the sweat
mm.
is coming because I'm doing something.
That's
Um, but it isn't about that. And I had to tell myself that last year when I felt, you know, I for a second I was like on the scale all the time, and I'm like, the
mm,
weight coming off. What's
mm,
going?
mm,
Muscle weighs more than fat does.
Yeah, yeah, we've heard that before. I mean, a pound is a pound, right? But the difference is that your muscle your muscle burns fat differently than your
Hmm.
fat. Your fat, adipose fat, as they call it. It's just there. It's
Hmm.
resting. It isn't
Hmm.
doing anything. But your
Hmm.
muscles, when you build muscle, you are now, in fact, building a powerhouse of mitochondria that are working.
Hmm. Hmm.
They're working when you're resting and they're working when you're sleeping.
Hmm.
They're working when you're running.
Yeah, yeah. Or as I look at the loose skin on my stomach, I had to fall in love with that loose skin
Mm,
because I worked my tail off to get that loose
mm,
skin.
mm,
And
mm,
um, yeah, you could knife it up and take it off, but right now I'm
mm.
enjoying that I actually have it because
There you
for
go.
a long time it was out here, and
Mhm.
now, oh,
That's right.
okay,
That's
it may
exactly right.
not look good and healthy to you, but hey, I did the work to get to that point,
That's
and
right.
can't nobody take that away from me. And the all of that stuff, you know, once again, it's fitness people who don't have your best interest at heart.
Mm,
Not saying that an online coach can't help you,
mm,
but I want to know that you actually talk to them. They did
mm,
just give you this cookie cutter thing
mm, mm,
that what you're supposed to do, and this is how you're supposed to do it.
mm.
Did you talk to them like, on the phone?
That's
No,
right. I mean, I'll say as a coach, sometimes I have had people who come to me, and when I say I don't do diets, I'm not here to do diets with you. They don't want to hear that, actually,
yeah,
because what they want to hear is that I'm going to give you a 200 calorie, a 200 a day calorie diet, and this is going to get you through. I say exactly the opposite. I say eat because you
yeah,
need to eat.
yeah,
If you do
yeah,
not eat, you have not got the energy to do the thing that you need to do. The key
yes,
is, as you said, as you talked about before, which is it's controlling your portions, you know, smaller portions as you go, vegetables, and also knowing what's going to be the best way of eating for you. Because I'm not you, you're not me, I'm not the guy who's down the street, etc., etc. We're all individual people, we're all different. So sometimes people don't want to work with you
yes,
because you're not touting diet culture.
yeah. I Well, people in my at my job, they're like, "Oh, we want to exercise because you're motivating me," and I'm like, "Okay," but then they just go around and then they're like they're sluggish all day. I was like, "Well, when's the last time you ate something?"
Mm,
And but I had no, when you ate something because
that's
you're walking around like a zombie because your body is
that's
eating and
that's exactly right.
then yeah,
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And it kind of
but
goes back to what you said before, which is that at the end of the day, you have to do the work. And I
mhm,
have like my own saying that I say, which is that the magic is in the work that you're avoiding.
mhm,
It isn't
mhm,
gonna happen because you're thinking about it. It isn't gonna happen because you do, a little bit today and maybe some 3 weeks from now. It's the work that you put in every day. And I'm not saying that you have to work out every day, but what I'm saying is your commitment, your dedication, and your consistency are the things that will get you farther to your goal than all the talking, all the wishing, and all the
don't get
thinking.
worked out really hard today and then you eat everything in excess tomorrow, then you work out, then you eat out. No, because you're taking the work away that you did by
Mhm,
doing. I too don't work out every day.
mm.
Like yesterday, I did a really hard run for me. I looked at my thing and I was like, I ran 5 miles. What was I thinking? And then I work out that. So this morning, my legs were like, no, you're not doing nothing. You sit down right here.
That's
Um, and I don't beat myself up that I don't
that's
every
right.
day.
That's
I
right.
do see who can run every day, and I'm like, kudos to you. I'm not at that point yet that I
That's
can do that.
fine. It's
But
all
when
good.
I work out, I make sure I'm mindful of what I eat.
Mm,
I don't eat in excess,
mm.
and I still feel my body just as if I was going to work out
That's right.
because um, it'll make me sluggish
Mm,
if I overeat. And then I'm
mm.
like, "Ooh, Jesus, what is going on now?"
Yes.
And it's because oh that I've consumed too much stuff. And you got to also be mindful of um, when you eat. Um,
Yes.
when I'm running, I try to make sure that I load up on water because I'm one of those runners who, unfortunately, even though I have the water pack,
Mm.
about it until I got the white foam at the mouth, and it's like, so uh, I try to load up on the water, and um, I want to say. it's okay with um, being mindful of, like you said, what works for somebody else doesn't work for you.
Mhm.
And don't be ashamed of saying, no, I appreciate your advice,
Mm.
but this is Michelle's body, and
That's
Michelle's
right.
body.
That's right. That's right. Awesome. Awesome. Extra awesome extra conversation. All right. Let me